getting to be kind of a theme here, the fly tying area, that we're all getting a look at, surrounded by flies and fly tying supplies. But anyways, I want to introduce this video. This is a very unique or special video in that there's two reasons for it. First off, this video is our 200th video for our YouTube channel. So I thought instead of doing a little pat ourselves on the back video, that I'll actually run this one because it is kind of a special video. So this is our 200th video. I just want to take the time to thank everybody for your support, your follows, your likes. You know, as we try to grow this the challenge of growing this video or YouTube channel. But anyways, this video is going to be a little bit different, and I thought I'd make a very appropriate 200th video. You know, about the video, this is a trip that myself and my friend and friend of the channel, Eric Miller, did. We found ourselves in the northeast corner of California, up in the high country, chasing a very unique rainbow trout. This rainbow trout is called the Sheepheaven Redband. And what makes it special is it's a very genetically isolated, recognized as a very genetically pure strain of rainbow. Kind of like the foundation of a lot of our rainbows. But this little group has been isolated up in the high country since the glaciers left. It hasn't had any intermixing with other stockings, other trout. So it's considered a pure strain of rainbow. And we went up into this country and fished for these fish. What's interesting is they're in tiny little creeks and you can step across them. But they're isolated and they're actually pretty protected. There's 5 creeks where these things are recognized to be in, 2 of which we can legally fish. And we fished one of these creeks and went and got a look at these really unique, gorgeous rainbow trout. So Eric will talk about the trout through the video and in his research on these fish while you guys watch us fish for them. I hope you enjoy this video. It is a little different what we do. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more of a format that we do in the future. So in the comments, tell us how you like the video. Once again, thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the water. Thanks for the support for our 200th video. Enjoy the video, folks. Literally off in some godforsaken no-name creek in some godforsaken national forest in California, and I think we're unicorn fishing again. But anyways, we're on a little creek here, and the significance of this creek is the rainbow trout we're looking for. So in this video we'll talk about it, but it's a red band rainbow trout that's actually has the history in fisheries management as being one of the seed stocks that was moved to the east where we fish here at home and the east, and with the genetics and a lot of the stocking programs and even some areas now where we see some wild natural reproduction rainbows came from this area. So this is actually the home brood of this that, as far as we can understand, Seth Green himself went and brought the seed stock. And if you don't know who Seth Green is, he's the father of modern fisheries management. So this is, we think, some of the general areas or gene code or genetics that was taken to start this whole thing. So we're going to go see if we can't find a few of these. There's not too many creeks where we can legally fish to them. This happens to be one of them. But anyways, we're off somewhere trying to get rigged up and go do it.
Purple haze.
Purple haze. I like it. Purple haze.
Purple parachute.
Yeah.
Purple parachute Adams. That's all it is.
Well, we'll give it a shot and see. in here. Now I'm going to sit on this pointy rock. Hopefully it won't knock what's left my butt out of joint. Anyways, despite my grumbling, I want to make an introduction here. This is a good friend of mine, Eric Miller, and you probably seen him if you followed the channel a lot. You'll see him show up periodically in some videos once in a while. But anyways, we're in a very unique environment, chasing a very unique fish, and I'm going to have Eric here talk about what we're doing, the type of fish that we're chasing, and where we are. Yeah, we're off in some wonderfully godforsaken forest and in the high country. I'll let Eric say what's left, and I'm going to turn this over and let Eric tell you about this particular fish and the history behind it. And yeah, I hope you also enjoy watching the video as Eric is talking.
All right, so I'm gonna back up a little bit, just a smidge. I guess you could call me a native trout chaser, specifically cutthroat. I won't go into that whole thing, but I like catching different trout, especially in the West. And today, Jay and I have had the privilege of going after what they call a Sheepheaven Redband trout. I don't know if anybody's heard of them, but what it is a precursor or the mother species, grandfather of the rainbow. But it gets more interesting than that. Everybody's heard of the Kern River golden trout, not the California golden trout that everybody has heard about. You look it up, Kern River golden trout. There's also a Kern River rainbow. Anyways, glaciers come in, glaciers recede, genetically isolated Sheepheaven, genetically isolated golden trout. And what they're saying now is the Sheepheaven Redband that we're trying to go after is the mother of the rainbow. The lower McLeod rainbow trout. I wonder, what is that stuff on the...
That's pine sap, but you know, I'm not sure exactly which pine tree this is. Being a forester from the eastern hardwoods, this is kind of curious what they are.
Is what is been stocked worldwide. And since Jay and I are both from Rochester, Caledonia, Seth Green.
Hey Jay.
And Seth Green in the east had his hand, among other fishes, the rainbow. So coming back here, Sheepheaven are still isolated. There are 7 total streams, 5 of which are closed to fishing all year, any style. There are 2 that you can fish legally in the state of California, which now you know where we're at. We are on one of the creeks that I will call no name. Part of the fun of this has been the research that I enjoy doing. So yeah, this is what we're out to achieve today. Is that Sheepheaven. You'll see that it's not what you're accustomed to for a rainbow. Everybody knows what the rainbow trout is, but this is a very different fish. And this is the purest redband trout that turned into the rainbow trout below. And I'll tell you this because it's nothing new. You got the McCloud River. McCloud River has a dam, middle dam, lower dam. Above, on the middle dam and down, which you can't fish below the lower dam. So middle dam down are those McCloud rainbow trout. They are not a pure strain rainbow trout, but anyways, we're after the Sheepheaven, and they are the purest of the rainbow trout. And I'll also say this, there are different subspecies of the redbands, but what they're saying, the McCloud redband, this is the upper McCloud or Sheepheaven redband trout. They also have the McCloud, upper McCloud redband in the state of Oregon as well. So I enjoy these unique little gems. What they lack in size, they make up for in rarity. And I hope you enjoy this video. Oh, don't mind the skeeters are out, so we're going to be swatting some flies here. But a quick fishing tip that Jay and I are discovering here. It's pretty basic, but you know, you're dry flying, and we started out with some pretty big size flies. Fish were coming up, but they were quote unquote smacking the fly. Well, we downsized and we're starting to get into fish. They're not huge, but we're catching fish. So think of it like this: you don't eat a whole pizza. You take a slice. So you got to downsize your fly to what you're going after.
So I came across this book, and it goes into some history of this Sheepheaven trout. The book, titled "The Search for Sheepheaven Trout" by Russell Hill. I want to read a little bit here. In a slim folder marked Sheepheaven Creek, I find a page of notes by Joe Wales in 1937 to 38. This is the J.H. Wells. This is the J.H. Wales who is credited with finding the Sheepheaven trout, and the notes describe his original discovery of the trout at the headwaters of the tiny creek. Quote, on December 17, 1937, I went with Galway, the McCloud forest ranger, to some springs at Sheepheaven, just off the Black Fox Lookout Road. At the present time, there is considerable water flowing from these springs, and it probably crosses the highway just west of Bartle. I doubt if any fish have ascended the stream from the Cloud River for many years. At the spring, we found some small rainbow trout running from 4 to 6 inches long. We caught 2, a male and a female. The male was brightly colored. It looked more like a golden trout than a rainbow trout. The female was much darker and looked like a rainbow trout. Galway says that this was the type of rainbow found in most small streams in the Shasta region in the early days, 1900 to 1910. The temperature of the spring water was 44 degrees. There is considerable moss on the bottom near the head. The fish seem to be located near the very head of the stream, and I doubt if they go downstream to any. And Hill continues on, quote, December 21st, 1937, I went up to the spring again, but couldn't catch any more fish. I saw about 3. I cleared out much deadwood from the stream so that I could perhaps catch some more next time that I go up. I believe these fish would do well if stocked in these small streams. Their beauty makes up for their small size. I don't think there would be enough food in these small streams to support much larger trout. His final note tells us why the Sheepheaven trout never left the side of Sheepheaven Butte. Quote, P.S. All fish died when the water was inadvertently turned off. End quote. Hill writes, in 1993, Joe Wales, now an old man, was cleaning out his garage when he found the notes from which he wrote his 1939 report. He sent them to R.J. Benke, Robert Benke, author of Native Trout of Western North America. A copy ended up in the manila folder I held in my hand as I squatted next to the wall of files in Reading. I tried to imagine Wales on a cold December day clearing out deadwood from the creek. Had he caught his trout with a hook and line, or had he netted them? I read again the line, their beauty makes up for their small size.
Gink really,
All right, a quick fishing update. Yeah, you can see we're really getting burned up in the sun, thus the shadows on our face midday. But anyways, we're crawling up through this, and you can probably see in the background all the brush. So we're just kind of crawling up the creek and busting brush until we find an interesting hole. And that's one of the reasons why that Tenkara, or whatever rod has been handy. Tenkara. It's getting so hot I can barely use 2-syllable words. Anyways, we got a little pocket here. We were doing a dry dropper rig. The fish were popping the drive, which was way too big, so we just dropped down to a Trout, which is a little bit smaller, and we've had success with today, and we'll see if that works. Sometimes dry fly's the way to go. Alright, we've talked about the fact that we're kind of bushwhacking up this creek. I want to kind of show you what we're dealing with. There's Eric standing right in the creek.
Here, let me show them.
And then just right up through, yeah.
Let me show them the obstruction here.
Yeah.
You can't see the obstruction. How's that for an obstruction? Doing a little limbo.
Oh, he swatted at it.
I just got rejected.
He came up and just kind of slapped at it and swam away.
Looked at it and that was that.
Rejection, the story of my life. That wasn't a rejection that time. Oh, nice one for this nice creeker.
Good.
All right, I'm going to have Eric tell about and talk about the rod we're using, because this is different fishing what you normally see us do. So we got a unique piece of equipment for this. So Eric, tell them what you got.
So obviously out east, back home, we're spay casting switch rod, 7/8 weight, 6, whatever. How do you like that? Not a fly reel. Some people have heard of it, some people haven't. It's called a Tenkara. So when we're on no-name creeks like we are today, dabbing, the feel, you can telescope this down to whatever you need. I think the other important feature, if I can try to get the rod tip maybe in view, that's how it's attached. And we don't even have a leader. We started with 5X on the top, tapered down to 4.
How about we taper down from 4 to 5 to 6X?
Oh, sorry, backwards.
Yep. Having a dyslexic moment.
And then we've got a dry on, and then a little nymph as our dropper, and you're literally dabbing. It's all feel, and really it's a totally different. It's all feel. So you know, you just kind of dab. You use a little bit of momentum, a little bit of elbow push, not even grease, but just a push, and swing that fly out. We're doing the same thing, you know, using gink, or you know, and then using shake, you know, same dry fly stuff. But on these little creeks, gulches, streams, you name it, this is the ideal weapon.
Yeah, we can do you'll see us periodically doing like a bow and arrow cast, but that's about the only cast you can do with this rod, and it's about the only cast we can do here.
That's the key. You can overhead cast, sidearm, but you'll see in this video that there's nothing like that here.
No,
it's just dabbing. So this is the perfect dabbing weapon, Tenkara.
Yep.
And the other important feature of this rod, is this is a 6'6". I knew that I was coming out to small little tiny streams. I have another one that's 11. You can get them all the way up to 13 feet. But I wanted the smallest, compactest Tenkara that I could find, and that's what I've got here today.
Yeah, and we discovered that it's worked perfect in this stream for what we're doing. The length is ideal. It's just a perfect tool.
Oh, in my intro with this video, I forgot to mention one thing. Anybody is interested in this kind of native trout species fishing, the best place to begin is by getting yourself it's either Trout in North America or Native Trout of North America by Robert Behnke. That's probably the best book out there on cutthroats and native trout species in the United States.
I'm hot. So we're going to call this expedition. It was very successful. We've caught some excellent examples of that
Sheepheaven
Redband.
Redband, yep.
Yep, which is a rainbow. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. You know the old routine. Please do a subscribe and a like. The likes really help. The subscribes, obviously. A bunch more stuff's going to come, and hopefully in the future we can do a few more of these types of videos. In the comments, please mention if you enjoyed this video, if you'd like to hear more about the history of trout fishing and the fish. I can do that would be great. But anyways, thanks for watching, folks. See you on the river. This is Jay at JPEG Guides and Lost River Fishing. We are a year-round fly fishing catch and release guide service. We fish the Lake Ontario tributaries, and then during the spring and the summer we also fish the inland trout streams, classic dry fly fishing. During the heat of the summer we will do the warm water fishing for bass and pike. If you're interested in any of our outings or have any questions, please feel free to email us at fish@lostriversfishing.com. Hope to hear from you, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.